Good morning, children. So, yes, let us continue and end up this chapter today. In the previous class, we have discussed up till page 18, that is metamorphic rock, right? Today, we will discuss the next topic, that is the rock cycle. So, I shall start reading out the text. Do follow me. Due to heating, melting, erosion, deposition, and chemical action, one group of rocks leads to the formation of another group. Underline that. How does this, rocks changes from one form to another? It is because of the heating, melting, erosion, deposition, and chemical action. The formation and development of this type of rock is a cyclic process known as rock cycle. Underline that as well. What do you mean by rock cycle? Okay, now let me explain you what do you mean by rock cycle. It is basically now when a rock transforms or changes from one form to the another form, now there is a process of formation. Now, as I told you to underline in the very first line, that this transformation of rocks takes place due to melting, erosion, heating, deposition, and chemical action. Now, this formation, or you can say this development of the rocks from one form to the another, okay, or from one type of rock to the another type of rock, that is called this cyclic process. The process of formation is known as a rock cycle. Igneous rocks are formed first after being broken down by natural processes such as weathering and erosion. As a result, deposited and compacted sediments form sedimentary rocks. After being subjected to great heat and pressure, igneous and sedimentary rocks are transformed into metamorphic rock. Okay, right from the first line of this paragraph until this where I've read, let me explain this first. It is something important. So how this individually we have already discussed this, how are these particular rocks formed, be it igneous, sedimentary or metamorphic, but as a whole you can say a kind of a recapitulation of the previous topic. So it is first of all the igneous rock which are formed after being broken down due to the natural process of weathering and erosion. Okay, this is how igneous rocks are formed. Secondly, now this deposited, okay, or these sediments which are being deposited after they are under great heat, they go through under great heat pressure, this same igneous rocks, they get transformed into sedimentary, and it is the sedimentary rocks which later on transforms into metamorphic rock. Sedimentary rocks may be buried again and melted due to heat from the interior of the earth, forming magma. Metamorphic rocks may be broken down into sediments due to natural forces, later forming sedimentary rocks and even buried again to form magma. Thus, a cyclical relationship exists between the three rock groups. The entire process is powered by the energy of the sun and involves processes both on the surface of the earth as well as in its interior. Okay. Now, we saw that how these igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic rocks are formed. Igneous, that is formed because of the weathering, because of the erosion. Sedimentary, those sediments, those deposits which accumulates together form sedimentary rocks. Metamorphic, these sediments because of the heat, because of the pressure transforms into metamorphic. Now, these sedimentary rocks, they may be further buried again and melted because of the heat from the interior of the earth, okay, and which results in forming of magma. Now, the metamorphic rocks also, there are chances that they can be broken down into sediments, as like we have seen, because of natural forces, maybe because of weathering, because of erosion and all. And when they break down the rock, what happens? The deposit, the sediments, so which again transforms into, you can say later on they can be transformed into sedimentary. And just now we read what happens to the sedimentary. Because of the heat, it gets buried. So it's actually a cycle. Okay, sedimentary, metamorphic, sedimentary, igneous. It's a cycle. So there is a relationship between all these three rocks, and this entire process is powered by the energy of sun and also the from the surface of the earth and also from the interior as well. So this entire cycle is called the cyclical relationship. Next we have the last topic, that is uses of rocks and minerals. The branch of geography that deals with the origin and structure of rock is called petrology. Underline that. Petrology. What do you mean by petrology? Rocks comprise different minerals which are of immense value to human. Rocks are used as building material, example granite, sandstone and marble, we have already discussed. Minerals like natural gas, coal and petroleum or fossil fuels are sources of power. Besides, rocks have also made agriculture possible as soil is formed by the degradation of rocks. Underline this particular phrase, soil is formed by the decomposition or degradation of rocks. Chemicals found in rocks are sometimes used as fertilizers also. Moreover, rocks contain fossils which tell us about life in the past. So, what do we learn from the rocks? There are so many points in this particular topic. Alright, so one by one. First of all, petrology. That is that particular branch of geography which deals with the origin and the shape, the structure of the rocks, petrology. Number two, now as we know that rocks, it comprises of different minerals and which has got great value for human beings. 3, rocks are also used for building material like we have seen granite, sandstone, marble and all. 4, this rocks, they are also very much helpful for agricultural purposes as because soil is formed by the decomposition of degradation of rocks and this is the soil which we need for cropping. And there are also some chemicals which are found in rocks and they play the role of a good fertilizer. Lastly, rocks also contain fossils which from where we gather information, we come to know about the living beings, about the living forms or about the life in the past from that particular rock. So that's all with this chapter. We come to the end of this particular text. Let us see some of the key points and please go through the glossary. Okay, so let us recapitulate the whole chapter in points. The earth has 3 concentric layers: the crust, the mantle and the core. The Earth's solid outermost layer comprising rocks and mineral is called crust or lithosphere. The mantle or the mesosphere located beneath the crust is the secondary layer of the Earth. The innermost layer of the Earth is known as the core or you can say barysphere. Rocks are defined as a natural mass of mineral matter on the crust of Earth. A mineral is a naturally occurring inorganic substance which contains one or more elements with definite physical and chemical properties. So almost if you see these points, most of the definitions are already given. It's like ready-made for you. Based on formation, appearance and the kind of minerals which constitute them, rocks are classified as igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic. Rock cycle signifies the cyclical transformation of one kind of rock into another. Now coming back to the exercise, the questions which are left, almost 90% of the questions exercise is done. From fill in the blanks, everything is done, right? Match the following, okay. Fill in the blanks, true or false is over. Match the following, all the 5 for today. Answer the following question in brief, everything is done. Just question number 1E, that's rock cycle. Answer the following question in detail. Question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2 was done day before yesterday. The previous class before yesterday. 3, 4, 5, it was done yesterday. Today, 6 and 7. So today you have very little for your assignment. I repeat, you just have match the following. Question number D, E, okay, and question number E, 6, 7, and the question number D, that's 1E. So that's all. Next class we can proceed to the next chapter, and I'll be also sharing this half yearly syllabus with you so that accordingly you can prepare yourself at home. So go through the text and complete your assignment. See you in the next class, everybody. Study well.